let's spend some time talking about you, Viddal. Recent performance against Chev Clarke, you must be pretty pleased with yourself.
Yeah, man, no, I was happy with the performance, happy to be British champion. Done it in my hometown, done it against an Arsenal fan. It was, yeah, man, it felt good,
How did they let that Arsenal track?
No, it's
Tottenham, mate. What was going on there?
I'm glad they did. Kind
of gave you an extra incentive.
He came into Tottenham doing this Arsenal thing, so I used the Arsenal weapons and defeated him.
Nice.
You know, I hope Viddal don't mind me saying, but me and Viddal go to the same gym sometimes.
Yeah, I saw you on the Monday that week.
Yeah. So I saw Viddal and his trainers in the gym as well. And I just watch Viddal from a distance, just doing his strength and conditioning. It's so good to sometimes, I don't disturb him, just go and watch him, what he's doing. It's incredible to watch. And sort of on fight week, I must have spoke to Viddal and he said, look, I can make this as tough as I want or easy as I want. And me respecting Chev as the way I do, I was like, it's a bit of a stretch there.
Yeah, I was like, are you sure?
I was like, are you sure, mate? I was like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's why I rated the performance so high, because I rate Chev so high still.
Same.
And that's why I thought it was a fantastic performance. And I did say, if Viddal isn't in the mix in 12 to 18 months with the very best in the division, something's gone wrong somewhere. That's how high.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute, but I want to just focus on the performance against Chev Clarke and ask you what you particularly liked about Viddal's performance.
The way that he could adapt, because going into that fight, we all thought it was a 50-50 fight, going off Chev Clarke's European challenge where he lost on that split decision, and you go, he's going to drag Viddal into deep waters and turn it into a dogfight, which is a fight that he likes. But Viddal stayed very disciplined. He was creating that space, picking the shots really well. Look at that right-hand move. Look at that foot movement. And that is important that you have that sort of thing. You've got a game A and a game B. You've got to have that B plan as well. And Viddal proved that he had that. Yeah, we've always known that he's got the ability, but you don't know, until you see things. And on paper, this was a real 50-50. And Viddal showed that he could adapt and make a potentially hard fight quite easy. And I'll tell you one other thing that I really liked, and I think I mentioned this to you, Viddal, as well. I think it was the 11th or maybe even the 12th round. Yeah. He pinged you with a right hand.
He did.
And I've been in that 12th round, and when you get hit and you're tired like that, I go, he showed a lot of character there, because you didn't show it. You disguised it very well. You kept your game together, didn't go on your bike, still carried on. But I knew that you was like you. I go, he's felt that down to the sole of his boots.
No, it was a good shot,
that is a great character as well. Like, because other fighters can unravel off that, especially that late on in the fight.
You know, when he hit me with the shot, it's like it hit me right here, and then I heard the crowd, and they were like, "Ooh!" And then even my dad was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "No, I'm all right." When you watch it back, you see me talking, because I'm like, "No, I'm good." But for me, it's just exciting. You know, my style. You know, people want to paint the brush, he's not as exciting as you could be, whatnot. But I like the combat of it. I just have skill. If you can force me into the combat of it, you will see me fight. But it's not my job to help you in your game plan.
But no one knew you. Obviously, you and your team.
Yeah, but no one has seen it.
Like, what I'm saying is because no one's seen it, because you've been that aggressive guy that comes forward and you knock fighters out. But when you get to a certain level, you go, hold on a minute, I can't do that now. And that's when you know you can kick on and propel to another level, because you have the ability to be able to go, right, I can make a hard fight easy. Where some fighters go in there and they make every fight hard.
Yeah, that's not the way to do it.
And I think that it's shown that you have that ability.
Can I ask you about your relationship with Anthony Joshua?
Yeah.
I mean, Spencer's best mate. What's that about?
Oh, I'm part of 258 management.
Right.
So, you know, that's obviously AJ's company.
How did you develop that relationship?
I haven't said this in years, but when I was on the development team at Team GB, he was still training the early stages of his professional career.
Right.
And I missed the train back to London. And then he was like, "Oh, where in London?" I was like, "Oh, Tottenham." He said, "Well, I live northwest, I can drop you back." And I was like, "No, that's all right." And he was like, "No, I'll drop you. I'll drop you." So that's the first time where
little things like that.
And I was 17. I was 17, and it's crazy that he said, and I remember I was in the car with him when he got the call about the Klitschko fight going to happen.
Wow.
I was actually in the car at that time.
Yeah.
So that's when the relationship first developed. And then after leaving previous management, I looked forward and I said, who is a part of big events? Who has been a part of some of the biggest British boxing events in recent years? 258 AJ. So if anyone's going to guide me and advise me in that direction, they're the people to do it.
So, I mean, you're now inside the top 15 with the WBO. What's on your horizon? The European champion, what's his name? Leonardo Mosquera?
That would be a great fight. I'm very open to that fight. I'm willing to go.
Is that something you'd be mandating
That would be nice.
Ben to go and get for you?
That would be brilliant. Like, I've just, you know what it is, Simon? Like, you know that this game, I hate setting my mind in concrete about what's happening next, because you have to reverse your mind when it doesn't happen. I just want to make sure I at least defend my belt, and if I'm not defending it, I'm heading upwards.
Will you give Isaac Chamberlain an opportunity?
I thought of that.
not unless-
I thought of Isaac.
You know, it's because
He hasn't fought for a year,
them two
has he?
have so much
You know
friction.
what?
It's crazy.
I say it straight. I'm not fighting Isaac unless I'm heavily compensated for it, because he's bringing nothing to the table. When we first was going to have the fight, everyone was questioning, can I fight at that level up? That's what he brought to the table. It was officially stated that I was defending my English title against him. He pulled out of that fight. I've gone on to win the British title, and then I'm supposed to just keep
Give him an
allowing you an
opportunity.
opportunity. Unless I'm subsidised heavily for it, I don't see why I should look
Smart
in
one,
his
this one,
direction.
only. It's a smart one, this one.
It is.
Where do you think you are? And we can answer, I don't know if you've got the balls to say it to him, where do you think he is in conjunction with someone like Chris Smith?
I think he beats Bilham Smith.
You do you?
I think he beats
Is that because you're sitting next to him?
He
Or
said
is
that
that-
myself, putting my weight down.
No.
Chris?
No. I think Chris has gone to the mountaintop. I think Chris has proven himself. I do think Chris maybe... Look, Chris proved something against Brandon Glanton, I think, but I think Chris is on the way down. I don't mean it to be disrespectful compared to where he was a couple of years ago. It's the wear and tear of his wars. Chris is always in a war. I think Viddal's on the ascendancy. So it's a case of, has Chris dropped enough for Viddal to get him? And I think
Do you agree with that,
has.
Spence?
Well, I was gonna ask Viddal. Yeah, look, Chris Smith is. How far away do you see yourself from fighting Chris Smith? No, Chris is still a top. He's still a world class cruiserweight for sure. Where do you see yourself? That was a question I sort of.
Yeah. It's something that could be within 3 fights. Bilham is not on my hit list, I'll be honest. He's not. And I'm not on his either. I know
what's
he
the hit
went
list?
to...
That's a nice question.
Muskia, you know,
Jack
the
Massey?
European. Massey would be
gonna say
good
one
as
smack,
well.
yeah.
Like, these are people that I do see as the future opponents. Bilham can be. I know he doesn't want to be because he wants to stay where he is. And for me to fight him, I need to get to where he is rather than a regression to me.
And when you look at the top of the division, very quickly before we finish this section, you've got Jaya Pataya, you've got Zudo Ramirez, and you've got the champion in recess, no longer in recess, Badu Jack. These are all fighters that you think that you're going to reach that level to.
100%. I say 12 to 18 months. I need a few of these names that we've been talking about. These are tough fights, good fights, learning fights, experience building fights. After I've had 2-3 more of them, I don't see why not.
So given we've got a British champion in the studio, let's talk about some British fighters. There's rumours going around, and I'm trying to pick the bones out of this myself, but I'll throw it to you guys, that Callum Smith versus Anthony Yarde is potentially a fight in August as part of the 5v5 in Saudi. What do we think about that as a fight?
I love that fight. For both of the guys, because obviously the winner kicks on, gets that world title shot. But I think it's like a great. You could call it a final eliminator in many ways, really. And I think that Yarde.
Why does Callum Smith win that fight? I mean, Callum Smith is, after beating Boaz, he's put himself in a position where he should be getting a world title shot.
Yeah.
Because of the construct of the division and who's fighting who, he can't get that.
No. So that's the
Anthony
next best
Yarde
fight.
has...
Benavidez is the next best fight.
Exactly.
He should be running. Callum Smith should be running straight to Benavidez.
Yeah, but
You run
that's the
straight
one.
to
I
him.
think.
Yeah. You've got to be confident. But
No one runs straight to
But you listen
Callum
to
Smith will, though.
Paul Smith's been on this show.
Callum Smith will.
And Paul's always spoken about the fact that Callum wants a world title shot. And that's the world title shot right there.
Commercial value, though, it says that Anthony Yarde is going to get well paid for that, and Callum Smith would start a favourite in that fight, going off recent form. Callum Smith starts
on the back of the last 2 Yarde
So whilst
performances.
you're waiting for the opportunity, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, on the back.
Absolutely.
I think, in fairness to the last performance from Anthony, what we saw was a nearer version, because we saw the 2 fights previously with Lyndon. The first fight wasn't a true reflection of Anthony Yarde, and the second fight probably wasn't a true reflection of Lyndon Arthur. You saw them get closer to their real
Lyndon looked really
levels.
good.
Lyndon trained
looked really
hard
good.
for
Yeah,
that fight.
yeah.
Even seeing him walking around the hotel and just the shape that he was in, he put the work.
He was with
in
those
that-
boxing science guys in Sheffield.
Where does
and you could see-
it, given if that is a direction of travel, where does this leave the currently vanquished Josh Boazzi? Where's Josh going now?
Getting pushed towards Ben Whittaker.
Is that what you think?
I think so. I think it can happen. It can happen. If he's not in that mix of names, which is quite tight right now, that circle's quite tight. If you're thinking of what's huge outside of that, we're looking at a Wembley Arena set.
Do you agree with that, Eddie? Do you agree that
even.
Josh Boazzi's currency leads him towards Ben Whittaker?
He won't want that.
No,
He won't
he
want
won't
it.
want
No, he won't want it.
He'll be like, well, one second, how have I been that close to the mountaintop and now I'm dropping back down to, I like Ben, but British level.
Yeah.
They probably think, one second, I should be fighting guys at the world level. So, and look, it was a fight of the year contender against Callum Smith. So should the drop off
Indeed
be
it was.
Should it be that far
Indeed
down?
it was.
Problem is when you lose a fight of that magnitude and of that quality, you fall into that bracket where you go, I'm not coming with anything, so no one's going to want to fight me. So he's just got to hope that someone like Turkey comes in and goes, right, I want you against it. Because otherwise you go, for prospects for prospects that are coming through, and if you look at, like, say, Viddal Riley, and you're looking at the guys that are up there, you look at it and go, well, I don't really need that fight because it's a hard fight and I'm not getting anything from it.
Is Callum Smith Yarde commercially bigger than Yarde Boatsy?
No.
I'm surprised we're still not going. I'm surprised we're still not going Yarde Boatsy.
No, but I think off the back of the Yarde, it is right now because Smith beat Boatsy in an absolute barnstormer.
In the community,
do we still not want to see Yarde Boatsy? Is that done?
Of course.
Yeah, that's why I feel. That's why I almost feel like we should be seeing Callum Smith Benavidez and Yarde Boatsy.
No, but we're at a stage where you go, am I right in saying this, Viddal? You got to go winner versus winner, not winner versus loser, and that's where you're at right now.
Can I? I mean, you brought
back.
Ben Whittaker into the conversation. I'm going to take it off into that tangent for a second. I mean, he's your stablemates.
Yeah.
What did you make of his performance against Liam Cameron and the reaction afterwards, the emotional reaction afterwards?
I think he boxed really well against Liam Cameron.
Did his job, but he should have done in the first fight.
He done what he should have done in the first fight, but he done it with a lot of pressure, immense amount of pressure. Delivered, sharp, clean, good boxing. The reaction after was just an outburst of what he's been going through, I guess. He's been getting bullied, as we know. And I think when you can say, see, I told you so, in that moment, you just see red.
Okay, I've got to pull you on that. What do you mean bullied? Do you mean people have been critical?
Yeah, but they call it bullying, cyberbullying.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately he can take the praise. He's got to take some of the criticism.
Of course, I agree.
I think that was just a natural reaction.
It was he didn't calculate he was going to do that.
I think that was easily accepted. Hit that little outburst after. I totally understand that.
I've seen 1,000 times worse.
Oh, come on.
I've seen 1,000. I've seen people get out of the ring and fight people. It was just an outburst of emotion, as you say.
And he probably didn't expect to win that soon and that quickly. He probably
Everyone
thought I'd have to prove down the stretch that I don't get tired. He was probably thinking that. So to hit him that early, get him going, referee jumped in, it's overwhelming.
And let's not forget as well, Simon, immediately after the outburst, he went and apologised.
Oh, I've got a property outburst.
I've got a
property
I know
outburst.
you don't, yeah.
Because I think that the corner turned around and called him a quitter, and so he gave it to the corner.
Yeah.
I got no problem with it. And all the nonsense that was always spat, and he didn't spit at anybody. He went over there and gave it to the corner. He didn't give it to his opponent. He gave it to the people that he was effectively saying to. You had no right to say that about me.
Yeah.
And here, by the way, here's the outcome. I wanted to ask you about two cruiserweights that have vacated the division because you're in it, but two cruiserweights that have gone up to heavyweight in Richard Riakporhe and Lawrence Okolie. I mean, when you look at them and what their opportunities are for them, who do you think is going to fare best in the heavyweight division from these two guys?
Lawrence. I think Lawrence has a better chance.
Because you used to spar him, right?
Yeah, not just because I used to spar him. I sparred Richard as well. But I just think Lawrence... He's just weird. He's just got a weird style. He hits really hard. He's going to hit even harder now that he's comfortable at the weight. And he's just a difficult fight for anyone. Whereas Richard is a physical specimen, but he doesn't have that air of awkwardness.
So you think Okolie's a better fighter than Riakporhe?
Yeah. He's been a world champion. We have to say he's a better fighter.
Sure.
But that awkwardness and power you can compare it to Deontay in a way where you can go all the way. If you've got better fundamentals, you're solid, but you're easy and basic to read,
Where are you on this conversation?
These two guys? I like both, but I think Lawrence has just got more as a heavyweight. Richard's actually really a bridgerweight, and I know we hate that division. He's put on so much size just to try and compete with the big boys. And I've been around Lawrence trying to make cruiserweight, and he's grumpy. It's a tough weight cut, as it is for all these guys. At heavyweight, he's smiling, he's confident, he's calling out everyone. Like, he's been calling out... Remember how he was a couple of years ago when the Dillian White fiasco happened? And he kind of went into the shell like, oh, okay. Now he's calling out Dillian White, he's active.
He's comfortable in his own skin now because making cruiserweight, I've got to say, man, was horrendous for him. He was a heavyweight in a cruiserweight body there.
He was.
But he's a natural heavyweight, and I think that he's going to be a problem in the heavyweights,
Agreed.
for sure.
Agreed.
Right, that's it for episode 120 of Talk Boxing. Thanks, Spence. Thanks, Addy. And of course, Viddal, good luck.
Thank you,
And
sir.
we'll see you guys next time we're out.